Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer. Ralph Phillips. Gonna do some mock drafting tonight. We've got our resident experts, Tom Romeo Jr. and Rampage, are gonna walk us through some mock drafts. Now, last year, we did the mock drafts. I did it myself, and we did it through what was I saying? Rampage just popped up on Zoom, so got distracted. I did it through asking the chat who we should draft, but this time we're going to let the experts run it, and we'll pay attention to chat and see what y'all had to say about it. So I got Rampage on the line.
What's up, crew?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Doing well. Ready to break down some players.
Yes. Now, I asked Tom to prepare for these questions. I'm getting ready to ask you, so if you want to take a little bit before you answer, that's fine. If you had the number one pick overall and you had no specific need, who would you pick? Or basically, who is the best player in the draft that you think that, beyond a shadow of a doubt, should go number one?
So for me, it's Abdul Carter. Because I think you always start in the trenches, and I think he's going to be an elite edge rusher, like one of the top 2 or 3 in the league. And Travis Hunter would be right up there. He's a generational talent. He can play offense and defense at a high level. He has demanded that he can play both sides of the ball, though. He said if a team told him that they're going to restrict him to one side of the ball, that he doesn't want to be drafted by them.
Really?
So, yeah. So I saw that the other day.
Wow. That's going to be so strange, man. We haven't had a swing hitter like that since, what, the 60s probably? Maybe the 70s? Who was the last guy that did that?
I have no idea. In football.
Yeah.
In baseball, we have Shohei, but
right.
Football, it's been a long time. Now, I don't know if they're going to limit his snaps on offense or defense. They're not going to have him going every play on both sides of the ball. That'd be crazy.
Right. Yeah.
But he's going to have to pick which one. I think he'd be special on defense, though, because with his hands and ball skills, he could get you a lot of turnovers. He could maybe get you like 8 to 10 interceptions a year. It'd be huge. Good.
So Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, of those two, which one would
I
you
would
say?
go Abdul because I like edge rushers more than corners and wide receivers. I think if you have to have that on defense, just like you have to have somebody up front, whether it's defensive tackle or edge, who can get a consistent pass rush.
Gotcha.
Without that, when you go up against a great quarterback, which you will do in the playoffs, they're going to shred you.
Gotcha. Abdul Carter. All right, Tom, I know I gave you a heads up on the question I was going to ask. Can you hear me?
I would agree with Rampage, Abdul Carter. And Travis Hunter. I mean, I'll probably like Hunter a little bit better, but Johnson also is a very good corner from Michigan, and the first two won't be there available for us. So let's go Johnson, since those guys will already be gone. But I would probably take Hunter and then Abdul Carter.
Okay. So Hunter is first for you. That's it. We're talking about not necessarily for the Buccaneers, just in general overall. Hey, Molly, how's it going? Molly's in the chat.
I also haven't studied them a whole lot, so.
Right, same. I mean, I've seen a little bit of both, but when you're looking specifically for teams that you follow, for the Buccaneers, they're not going to be there.
Right.
So you kind of just take it for granted that they are all world talents and just move on.
Gotcha. Okay, I set up the poll, Rampage, that you asked me to do. Unfortunately, I could only do 4.
I figured it might limit it to 4.
Yeah, so I didn't do defensive tackles.
That's fine.
I did safety, and I did outside linebacker, inside linebacker, safety, and cornerback. So, hey, Heather. We got the wives up in here.
And then I have the mock draft stuff ready to go whenever you wanted to get into that.
Okay. The chat's a little slow tonight. We got people watching. Nobody chatting. Just Molly and Heather. You want to give it a few minutes? We'll let some I'm surprised MK is usually in here 15 minutes before. Yeah, that's what Molly said. She said, "Where's MK?" He's usually in here 15 minutes
MK,
before. What's that?
My biggest fan. Don't talk about MK.
He's usually the first one in. Yeah. Hey, Tom, we're wearing almost the same shirt.
Yeah, mine's
it's below the screen.
Special Troyer version.
Oh.
Troy, I forgot. Troyer's my #1 pick.
Vern
Troyer.
He's too old to play football now, isn't he?
He passed away.
Oh, he passed away. That's right. As soon as I said that, I know. Do y'all ever get it where you see somebody has passed away in the news and you go, I thought they were already dead? It was like when Val Kilmer died, like last week. I was like, I thought he already died. I guess I was thinking of Patrick Swayze.
Did you guys see him in Top Gun Maverick?
Yes.
He looked pretty good in that.
Yeah.
I mean, all things considered.
Yeah, I saw a documentary with him about all the issues he was going through, and he was pretty rough. But in the Top Gun, they had him wear that scarf thing because apparently his neck was all messed up and everything.
So did he have throat cancer?
Something like that. They didn't really go into detail of what it was, but okay.
You guys, Ralph, you see the Jalen Ramsey news?
Yes. What do y'all think about that?
There's, well, the Buccaneers, here's my thing. The Buccaneers think that they're in a window right now. Okay. Really? Now, you can agree with that or disagree with that, but if you do think they're in a window, he probably does have 1 or 2 years left of a pretty high level of play. He did drop off last year a little bit, but his drop off would still be better than any cornerback we had on the roster.
Yes.
So to me, if you could get him for less than a third, and then you're going to have to work with the cap. We do have the cap space right now. We could make it work if we wanted to.
What's he getting? He got like a $70 million contract with Miami, right? 3 years.
I think without looking at the salary cap stuff, I thought he was around $20 million for this year, and I think we have 32.
Right.
So you could move some things around and make that work if you really wanted to do that. I think Miami's going to have a hard time getting rid of him before the draft, though, because now people are going to want to see what they can get in the draft. Yeah. And then after that, maybe they'll come back to it and try to get Miami to eat some of that salary cap.
And he's what, 30 now?
Yeah, he's 30.
Yeah, he's probably got a year or two left in him. He didn't do a whole lot at Miami last year, did he? The Dolphins really crapped the bed, I thought.
Yeah, their defense was better than their offense last year, actually. But, I mean, Tua was out, I think, a lot. So,
what are they going to do about Tua? They got the Jets quarterback backing Tua up now.
Yeah, Zach Wilson. So I think that the GM and the head coach are kind of connected at the hip with Tua because they used to have Flores, and Flores did not like Tua. He wanted to move on from him. He didn't want to draft him. He didn't think he had what it took to win a Super Bowl. So then Greer, the GM for Miami, disagreed with him on that, and they chose to keep Greer over Flores. So then Greer had to try to build a team around Tua to make him look good. You can't admit defeat there.
Right.
And McDaniel loves Tua. So I think they're all going to go down together.
Oh, my goodness.
They're pretty connected to Tua at least for another year or two.
Man, what a mess.
They should have let him play out his 5th-year contract because they didn't have to give him that money. They could have seen whether he's going to stay healthy, have any other concussion issues, how he played. Yeah. But they just hurried into that contract. And it's blowing up in their face.
Well, couldn't happen to a better team. I know we got some people who are, because they're Florida teams, they like Jacksonville and Miami. Couple people in chat are kind of soft on Miami. Not me. I like their head coach a little bit, but other than that, I don't care about them.
Did you get my share screen invite, or are you just kind of waiting to see?
Oh, I thought I did. Did I not share it? Does it say you can?
From my end, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it should be. I've got it set. Let me turn it off and back on. How about that?
Let me send you another one. I think you got it right.
Okay. There we go. Yep, it's working.
Good now?
Yes.
Yeah. So did you want to go ahead and get started with Tom's?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
All right.
And Tom, you ready?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Tom, I've got it set for 7 rounds and then fast so we can speed to the Bucs pick. Is that fine with you?
That's fine with me. That's how I always do it.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get it started.
I'll take Abdul Carter.
Yep, that'd be a good one. So here's your trade options if you want to look those over real quick.
Forget the first one. Maybe look at that one. I mean, you could look at that.
You want to see who's left?
Yeah, let's see who's left.
All right.
I see Campbell.
Yeah, we were talking Campbell in their algorithm. He's very consistently there at our pick now. They have him ranked as the 24th player in the draft. I don't know if that's how it'll play out on draft day.
Yeah.
But according to this site, they think he's going to be there pretty much every time at this point.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of national people saying, Campbell is going to be our guy. So
maybe look at that trade where they offered us the 21st pick.
It's Pittsburgh.
So, yeah, the Steelers, they're offering you a next year second and then move down 2 spots.
I would counter that.
Okay.
And forget about next year. I don't care about next year, so just get rid of that and just
maybe
pick up the next 2 picks there. See if they'll do that.
Oh, okay. That worked out well. I never counter, honestly. I just look at what they offer, and then I'm like, all right, take it or leave it.
I would turn right back around and do that pick, too.
You would trade down again?
Yeah, the 22nd pick, yeah.
Okay. Move down 1 more spot.
Now is where I would kind of probably just stay still.
Yeah, let's see who's left at this point. Looks like Campbell's still there. Let me know if you want me to move around, look at anything else.
The one problem I have with most, interactive drafts is the trades. I mean, they just kind of make it simple. I guess they got to make it fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know if trades are really legit. I don't know if NFL teams would do that, but
yeah,
I guess for all intents and purposes.
Say something like he doesn't think that there's going to be a lot of movement up. He thinks people are going to kind of sit there. He said he could be wrong. I thought he said that in one of the press conferences. If anybody had,
I think I heard that too,
which was interesting.
So I don't really see any corners that I'm interested in. So just take Campbell.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and take Campbell, and then we have linebacker checked off the list. And should be going to the next pick, right? Didn't I?
Should.
There we go. All right. So I guess we'll look at the players, then we'll look back at the trade offers.
Yeah.
You want to do that, or you want to look now?
You can mark off that first trade.
Okay.
I don't want to go to 90. I don't like either one of those trades. So.
All right. See who's
so we're going
on.
to draft somebody.
Who'd you pick in the first round? Oh, Campbell.
We got Campbell in the first round out of Alabama
at 22. Not bad.
I guess just see what corners are available and what safeties are available. What corners are available and what maybe
Benjamin Morrison's still there. He's an injury risk though. But some people do project him as a first rounder.
What about safety and edge?
So safety, the guy out of Texas can look over these guys. Let me know when you want to switch to edge.
You can do that. Wow. What do you think? You think edge or you think
I think it's pretty deep at defensive tackle, but I know you mentioned you liked this guy a lot, and I like him too out of Michigan.
Well, I like him too. I like a lot. I like all
This
these
guy
guys.
right here is projected as a first rounder by a lot of people. He's a power halfback, but I don't know if we need to
Yeah,
spend.
I'm not worried about halfback.
So I like this guy, but I don't think you were too high on him. I think he's a pretty good
I don't
edge
hate
player.
it.
And then, yeah, if it were me, I'd probably go between him, the edge guy, and Grant at this pick. Now, I think the edge guy would get more snaps. Grant is someone who I think is exclusively a nose tackle, so you would want to move him in there with Vita sometimes, get Vita some rest. Now, do you spend a second pick on that 53? I don't know. I mean, you could look. Vita will probably be here for a while, so I don't know what his starting potential is for the future either. That's another question.
Go to DT. I want to see if that Ohio State guy is.
Let me see over here.
No, I don't
He's
see
normally here by. He's normally still here whenever I've done it, but I'm not seeing him.
Yeah.
Unless he's. He's not below this guy, I don't think. I can't remember where they had him picked.
He must have already got picked. Let's go. Can I look at the corners again?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just go corner because they've already taken what's his name off of there? The guy from Iowa State. Let's just go corner.
So do you like Benjamin Morrison or you like somebody else?
Benjamin Morrison, yeah.
Okay. Can't remember what all picks we have. So 83, 84. We're at 83 now. Do you have any interest in moving down to 103?
Nah.
83 to 90. You pick up a fifth next year.
You can hold that and see who's available.
Okay.
Just have everybody up.
So here's everybody up. Let me know if you want me to go down or look at any specific positions.
I guess linebacker and edge. That's probably the two. And safety.
So right now we're on linebacker. That Demetrius Knight is still there. He's 99. Right now we're at 83.
Yeah. That's probably going to be the pick, but let's look.
Who else? Safety?
Safety, yeah.
Safety, it's 103 is. And then edge. Here's our edge guys.
So what do you think there?
Who was the original? Oh, you said linebacker, right?
Yeah, it's going to be linebacker or edge. And the linebacker is going to be the boy from South Charleston. I mean, South Carolina.
We like this guy too, Shamar Turner. Yeah. And he's a 3 technique. So he could challenge Logan Hall.
When's our next pick?
It is, we pick back-to-back 83 and 84, so you actually get 2 guys.
Oh, yeah. Just take them both. Just take
Do you want
Shamar Turner. So just take Shamar Turner.
And then that linebacker?
Yeah, and then take Knight.
That seems pretty good to me. And then we come up again at 86, so we got to find somebody else here.
Probably.
We have 3 picks in the 80s.
I would say, what do you think?
So we got linebacker, corner, defensive tackle, 3 technique, and then another linebacker. We got 2 linebackers.
Yeah, I know.
But with Levante going next year,
I like it.
Both of these guys getting ready to play. So
let's look at safety, maybe guard, offensive guard, and defensive tackle.
So safety, it's still the next guy. We're at 86. The next guy is 103. And then what was the other one you wanted to look at?
Guard would be fine. Offensive guard. Actually, anywhere on the offensive line.
Here's the guards.
You can go offensive tackle and center even.
Here's the offensive tackles. And then here are the centers.
And maybe defensive tackle.
Here's the defensive tackles. This guy right here is massive.
Yeah, I like him. He's huge.
He's doesn't have a great raw athlete score. I think he has longer arms though, and maybe leverage might be a disadvantage at 6'7". But he would definitely be something that could. Oh, he's got 34-inch arms. It says right here. So I think he could definitely sub in for Vita and give him some rest.
What about the guy from Tennessee? I don't know much about him.
Is that a defensive tackle? Where is that guy?
Guy. Omar,
the top guy. Yeah, I don't know much about him either. I haven't watched anything on him. He didn't jump out to me whenever I was looking at Draft Buzz, so I haven't done any work on him.
Not real big.
Right here, got a kind of an average raw athlete score, so
we're probably looking for someone to replace Vita. So let's take that big guy from Kentucky.
All right. So the defense got a lot of fresh blood there. And I think we're up again at 123 now. Are you interested in looking at any trade offers here? This is the only one we have, really. If you want to go down a few spots, you can move up from 235 to 195 later.
We'll just hold off. I kind of forgot. I kind of screwed up. But let's look at wide receiver.
Okay.
I hope the boy from Maryland's still available.
Here's the wide receivers that are at the top. Who's the Maryland guy?
So he's gone. So
I'm pretty. This guy, Caden Prather.
No, he's from Maryland too. But the other guy, the speedster, I can't remember his name. Okay, and let's look at safety.
Here's your safeties. Got an Alabama guy here.
Yeah, I like him. I like the Penn State guy.
He's the guy that I was watching tape on last night, and I was watching Campbell a lot whenever I was trying to focus on him.
Did you like him?
Malachi Moore?
Yeah.
I was kind of like average on him.
Average?
I'm not like super high on him, but at this point in the draft, he'd probably be an okay investment.
I haven't gotten down to watch safeties a whole lot less. So let's just go with Reed. He's the highest rated one. And
okay, he has a 9.08, but he's 5'11". He's got some size to him that like weight. 211.
That's pretty big. 211.
Yeah. Wonder if he runs well.
So now we're at pick 157. Here's the overall guys.
Can we get a recap of who we've drafted so I don't...
Yeah, it's right on this side. So we got Jihad Campbell, Benjamin Morrison, Shamar Turner, Demetrius Knight, Theon Walker, and then Jalen Reed, the safety from Penn State. So we've pretty well addressed every need up here.
Yeah. I guess just look overall, maybe wide receiver.
Unless you want to try to take another corner.
I mean...
Is that Za guy left? I'm not seeing him.
Go slowly through the corners because I've looked at all of them. So
all right. So here's the corners again. Let me know when you want me to go down and see the next group.
Okay, let's try some of the offensive line. I mean, that's a need.
Here's offensive tackle.
Right. How about guard and center?
Guard.
Okay.
And then center.
And then one more thing. I'm sorry I'm driving you crazy. Wide receiver.
All right. So over here, we're at wide receiver now.
Wow, the guy from Virginia Tech can fly. What's our next pick?
157.
235. So we are getting to the bottom of the barrel with the next pick.
I would rather have a center. So let's just take the center.
You want the guy from Ohio State?
Yeah, let's just take him.
And then we're getting to the last pick here. And I think we're up on the last pick, or it's getting to us. And we're up. So here are the guys left for pick 235, the top guys.
I've looked at that safety from Maryland. I kind of like him. Let's take him. You know that? Are you familiar with Willie Lampkin?
I I've seen videos on him, but I haven't watched him, and I haven't read a lot about him.
He's an interesting guy. People don't
5'10" for a
know.
guard.
Yeah, people don't know what to do with him. He's like 275 pounds, and he's a guard. And they say he's a really good guard, but are you really going to play a 275-pound guard in the NFL? I don't think so.
So
some people
me,
call him. Some people are saying maybe he moves to H-back and tight end, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that would be way too much of an outlier. I can't think of a single guard that plays at 5'10", 279.
Yeah, that's small.
I've seen him listed at less than 279, like 273 and 275.
Yeah,
but they say he really dominated at the not the Shrine Bowl, the other one.
Yeah, to me, if it was 1965, he could play.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to take him. I'm not going to take a 270-pound, but I'm just telling you, a lot of people really say he did well at the bowl game. He played well for I think it was South Carolina. But
I'll have to check out some of his tape later just to see how a 5'10" player looks compared to all the giants.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Maybe Ralph, you can do that one day. I haven't seen him play. He could be this year's Storm Duck for you.
There you go. Hey, Storm Duck became a starter, man. Come on. I'm very excited about Storm Duck.
Let's just take the safety from Maryland.
Okay.
What was that guard's name again? I'm going to write it down and look into him.
So Dante Trader, you like him? I don't know much about him. He's got a real low raw athletic score. Have you watched him? I'm sorry.
I'm going to have to get off here for a second. I got an emergency call coming.
Okay. We'll finish out for you.
Hello?
So we'll take Dante Trader there, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my draft real quick here.
Okay.
I'll be pretty quick. I've done a lot of these. So
do you have – you sent me, I think, a screenshot of the draft we did Saturday, didn't you?
Yeah, I've done a ton of them. So this one, 19 and 235 for 32 and 47. I don't want to go down to 43. 30 and 56. I don't care about next year's picks in this kind of a setting. So we'll see who's left. We're at 19. We have a tight end they have at the top. Starks, I love. Eamon Worry, I'm down on after watching film. He just does not stand out. He looks just physically imposing off of the bus. But when you watch the film, he kind of, I don't know, he's insignificant. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move all the way down to 32 because I like a lot of players in this draft. And then I'm going to get rid of this 235 just to do something a little bit different than what we saw last time.
Do you feel like this draft has got a lot of apparently guys that we can get in later rounds that are going to be good?
I think it's really deep at edge and defensive tackle. And then I think it's really deep at guard, but I kind of view the guards a little bit different than a lot of other people because a lot of these offensive tackles that they have, I actually have them rated as guards.
Right.
Like I'm a big arm length guy. And to me, if you don't have 34-inch arms plus, I would rather you play guard. Now you can be successful at tackle, but I just like, if you can get the ideal, I want to get the ideal. So after moving down, I'm torn between this guy, Revel, the cornerback who has little injury issues, and then Ezeraku. And looks like I'm going to go down again. Go down to 40 and 66. Actually, no, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to go ahead and take, let's see, Revel, because I think cornerback's pretty thin, and he does match what Bowles is looking for. So now we're back up at 47, and he's still there. So the guy that I was debating, it worked out for me, can take him. And now we have cornerback and edge taken care of with two guys that we feel pretty good about. I don't want to go down to 83. So we're back up at 53. And a guy that's really grown on me, he's all the way down at 75. But this safety out of Penn State, he's an elite tackler. Like he barely ever misses any tackles, very physical. And he's got long arms. Athletically, he's pretty much everything you would look for. Kevin Winston Jr. So I'm going to go ahead and take him and let him compete for that strong safety role and keep Antoine Winfield back there and let him play the middle of the field role. So now we're going down to pick 84. I'm going to see who's left. Nobody's really jumping out at me right here. We got a corner, an edge, a safety. We have not picked up a linebacker yet. Let's see who's there. I like Demetrius Knight, and I think the Bucs like him a lot too. They visited with him at the Combine and a top 30.
Right.
I think he can, at the very least, be a very good two-down linebacker for you. I think he's good with zone drops. And I'm not sure about the man coverage, but I saw somewhere that he rated very highly with PFF last year, like a 90% pass coverage grade. I'd have to double check that. So I think for right here, that's pretty good value. So now we've taken a corner, an edge, a safety, and a linebacker. We have 2 picks left. I don't want to go down. I really like this guy, Oronde Gadsden. He is the son of the other, I believe, Oronde Gadsden. I think he was a wide receiver for the Dolphins.
Really?
Does that name strike a bell?
It does not.
Okay. So I love bloodlines. I love whenever guys are the kids of people who played in the NFL, because I feel like worst case scenario, this guy is going to be a above average to average player for you for a long time.
Yep.
And this gives us an option next year whenever Cade Otton is up to not break the bank to bring Cade Otton back. We let this guy develop for a year. He's 6'4", 243, decent measurables, great bloodline. So I'm going to go ahead and take him.
Yeah, Oronde Gadsden, the father, played for Miami from 1998 to 2003.
Yep. And so for the last spot here, 157, I really like this Tesla guy, receiver. He's kind of a physical freak, 9.93 raw athletic score.
Wow.
And then this guy right here out of LSU, I like him too. So he's a guard, 6'4", 325, 9.76 raw athletic score. And I want to bring in somebody more to compete with our left guard and give us some options there. So I'm going to go ahead and take the guard and finish out this draft. So we end up with a corner who, with health, could push for a starting job, and I think he's an outside corner. This guy has great production, good measurables. We get a safety, hard hitter, good tackler. Knight could develop into a starter. At the very least, good two-down player for you. The son of a former player to fill in at tight end and push next year for a starting job. And then this guy, who I really like too, to push for a starting guard job next year at the latest.
So, hey, can you send me that link? Can you send me a copy of that?
Yeah, let me send it to you after we get off.
Yeah.
I'll just take a screenshot of it and get it to you later.
That'll work.
So do we have a decision on what position we want to look at tonight, or any questions about specific players?
Yes, we do. Chat has been very strange tonight. We've got votes on the poll. Let me go ahead and pull that up.
Is MK in here?
No
MK.
I know.
Somebody do a wellness check.
That's what Heather said. Whose night was it to check on MK?
MK fell off the boat.
Okay. Let me see. We've got Edge. Edge is the dominant one with the most votes, almost 40%. All right,
so a couple of notes that I had, just generic notes from watching film, I wanted to address real quick. Shamar Stewart. We had talked about him last time, and he was the guy who I think only had like 4 sacks over the course of 3 or 4 seasons. He's right here.
Okay.
And he's a physical freak, but the production is just not there. So Tom was saying, do you want to take a guy who doesn't put up a lot of stats?
Right.
So I was trying to delve more into that, why he doesn't produce that much. When I watch film on him, he does affect the quarterback. He gets through there. He uses moves. He gets in the quarterback's face. He just didn't finish all the time. And then whenever I was watching other people talk about him, they said that he was constantly double teamed, and he had one of the highest pressure rates in the history of Texas A&M.
Really?
Yes, at least for either last year or the year before. So this is a guy where I think when you watch the tape, the numbers don't jump out to you, but when you watch the tape, he does have some pass rush to him.
Well, you know,
and I know
that's what I care about is watching the tape more than the stats. So
I know the Bucs like him because they visited with him once or twice. I remember he was in the visits, either at the combine or like a top 30.
All right.
So I think they are looking at this guy, and he's supposed to go around where they pick in the first. So don't be shocked if he's one of the guy that they end up with. Will Johnson, the corner,
where do you think they'll draft him at, Stewart, if they draft him?
I mean, he could be an option at 19.
Really?
I don't know that he'll be there in the second round. I'd have to look at some more mock drafts and which way it's trending. But physically, you get a guy who's 6'5", 4.59, 40-yard dash, 40-inch vertical, above 34-inch arms. I mean, he's an athlete. Huge wingspan, 10-yard is very good. So you're going to get people that fall in love with the measurables and they watch the tape and they see him, see freakish ass athlete, puts him in Myles Garrett territory. 4'5'9", 267, 1.58, 10-yard, 40 vertical. Broad jump is great. So you're definitely going to get someone who bets on the upside with this guy. Yeah. And they're going to think that they can get him to get higher sack numbers based on the tape. And it could be us. I would not be shocked. So we want to look at edge tonight.
We got 3.5 minutes left.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we're gonna have to probably address that next time.
Yeah. Speaking of which, when do you want to do it again?
I mean, I'm free whenever you guys are good.
Right. Tomorrow night.
We have a week left. Thursday. So if you guys wanted to do another defensive stream or a couple streams, whatever you guys want to do, and then get into offensive players.
Yeah, I want to cram in as much as we can before the draft. So I'm up for tomorrow night if y'all can do it.
Okay. Yeah, you want to plan on 5:30 then?
Yeah, same time.
Sounds good to me.
And
we can I guess start out with edge because that's what won the poll.
Yes.
We'll take a look at some of those guys. We'll probably skip over the top guy, like Abdul Carter. I don't really think there's a need to cover him because he's not going to be there.
Hey, you never know. Warren Sapp fell right before the draft.
Yeah, Carter would have to have something crazy come out. Yeah. Like there'd have to be some allegations of some pretty shady stuff because he's everybody has him as like an all-world talent. So.
And what is he? Kansas? Where's that?
Nittany Lions, Penn State.
Penn State.
So yeah, he's basically a clone of what's the guy on Dallas, the big guy. Everybody loves him.
Parsons.
What's his name?
Parsons.
Yes. They're
outside linebacker.
Can't think of his name off the top of my head. Parsons, yeah.
Parsons, okay.
So he's kind of a clone of that, a lot of people think. Which is why I would take him number 1. As much as I love Hunter, I got to go with the lineman. I feel like it starts there.
Huh. Abdul Carter. Okay.
Are you not familiar with Abdul Carter?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Now they compare him to Chop Robinson. They say he's 99% similar as far as I guess like the physique and everything.
Well, do y'all feel like Chop Robinson was everything he cracked up to be?
So he started out the season slow, and then he really came on at the end. I think he had pretty good sack production and pressure toward the end of the year.
Okay.
So they're expecting him to start off hot this year.
Yeah, I also heard that he started off slow and really picked it up.
Probably just kind of getting used to the speed of the NFL and everything, and the strength. These boys are strong.
In the NFL, it takes more than pure athleticism. You're going to have to develop some moves.
Yeah. All right, we got less than a minute. And,
all right.
Tom, we're going to pick this up tomorrow. Is that okay with you? Are you going to be here? Can you make it tomorrow?
That's okay with me, unless, my buddy. I have an 87-year-old buddy who's in the hospital, so.
Okay, is that what the call was about?
I kind of take care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take care of that. So, if you can't make it.
I'll probably be. I'll almost certainly be here.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just pick up where we left off talking about Edge, and then we'll try to get some more mocks in.
See you guys later.
All right, Rampage.
I think it's gonna cut me off. So.
Yeah, I do too. It doesn't. It doesn't have a good timer on this thing. I gotta start setting one.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, brother. Yep. Okay, so there we go. Oh, look, I'm gone. Everything. And I don't have my anything set up, or I'm just winging it, man. I'm just winging it. Anyhow, we're going to pick this back up tomorrow. We're going to bring these guys back in, and we are going to pick up on the edge rushers. These guys have really studied the edge rushers. They know what they're talking about. And we're going to break down a lot of guys. And I know they've done cornerbacks a lot too. So we're going to talk about the cornerbacks eventually. But we wanted to see what everybody else wanted to talk about. And edge seems to be what everybody is interested in, which is funny to me because, you know, I'm like inside linebacker. I really feel like I don't think it's as drastic of a need as it was before Levante re-signed. But I still think, man, you know, he's not going to be around long, and I don't think we got anybody behind him that's going to fill in his spot. So I think that is a kind of a need. But like I said, it's not as drastic. I think if we get an edge rusher or a cornerback that is, you know, all world that we got to get him. But I don't know. Campbell just seems like everybody's talking about him, and he's what. You know, just seems like he fits the Bucs. So it looks like that's probably going to be who we get. But we'll talk more about it. And we're going to get this draft going, man. We are going to have a good live stream on the draft. And we are going to talk a lot about it up until the draft. So keep hanging out. And if you got any questions, shoot it to us. And we will answer your questions. And we're going to do more of a interactive thing probably tomorrow, but we're also going to do more mock drafts. So I'm going to get out of here, and guys, I appreciate y'all hanging out, and until next time, go Bucs.